You guys need
I
this
know. They need to do the shoot dance. They need to do like the Uzi shoulders.
With a relatively new game like Fortnite Battle Royale, it can be hard to determine who's the best, especially as the game adds new players and platforms.
Oh my god, Avxry. Oh!
While there are different leaderboards that one could go off of, that's not that fun. So instead, we looked around the web for what the Fortnite community has said about which players are their favorites. And we've come up with a top 10 list comprised of players of different fame and skill levels. So let's take a look at the top 10 Fortnite Battle Royale players out there according to the game's own community, knowing that it'll most likely be obsolete by the time this video ends.
And I'm just like, what is this song, dude? He's like, it's the pom-pom, bro.
Muselk.
First up, I'm gonna go get a horribly misspelt coffee. Oh man, I'm almost sad. They almost spelt it right this morning.
Muselk was originally known for playing Team Fortress 2 and has gained his millions of YouTube subscribers by also playing games like Overwatch. Nowadays, he appears to have completely moved from playing Overwatch to playing Fortnite full-time. Born in Australia, he's gamed with a lot of fellow live streaming Aussies and game-specific YouTubers or Twitchers like Zilbrad, Basagaza, Tyrodin, and he's even been in a relationship with some as well.
What do you do?
However, he's definitely not the best player on this list, as his average kill-to-death ratio is a relatively pedestrian 3.99, with 168 total wins over 1,992 total matches. However, he brings in a sense of humor and production value, so he's a good starting point for people looking for videos that aren't too esoteric. Before we go on, take a second to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, so you always catch it when we post a new video. It'll help keep our aim sharp. Let's get back into it. Ali A.
I thought the game had bugged out for a second there. Sorry, Bushman.
Ali A is probably the most controversial entry on this list, as he's grown to prominence in the Fortnite community relatively quickly, and a lot of that has to do with his ability to understand and thus game the algorithms behind video platforms. His YouTube channel used to focus on Pokemon Go, and he was known for creating a lot of clickbait videos, and that's really the charges that have been leveled against him with his Fortnite videos too.
This is capitalism at its finest. Look at this. My god, it's all Fortnite.
It was such a problem that an article on Forbes.com actually discussed Ali A's clickbait tactics, namely in the titles that he uses for his videos, which are broken down as typically being too vague or using different mods to create situations that are impossible in the actual game, but that he initially passes off as either some sort of hidden or upcoming feature. However, that doesn't take away from his ability to actually play the game, and of all the players on this list, he definitely has the most votes and comments online, arguing his rightful place in the top 5.
A very, very fun little technique. Give it a go if you want as well.
AlexRamiGaming. AlexRamiGaming is one of the few players on this list that isn't a PC player, at least not solely, as his account on sites like Fortnite Tracker state that he plays on his PS4. That's not the only difference on this list, as his kill-to-death ratio is the highest of anyone here, with nearly 15 kills for every death, which is just insane, especially considering that with a kill per match average of nearly 5.5, it means that he goes an average of 3 matches between deaths. That's one way to get good at Fortnite quickly, and it's probably why AlexRamiGaming is the top consoler that plays Fortnite, at least up until his ban for team killing.
Bro, I just killed an 11-year-old, bro. I'm gonna get banned.
However, banning someone's second account after one infraction seems like a bit of overkill, and that's what it felt like for AlexRami as well. But it also made sense that the people behind Fortnite would want to send a message. Taking out the top console gamer did exactly that.
Don't worry, guys. I told him I needed a freaking rifle. He didn't want to give me anything.
Now that he's back in gaming again, it seems like all is well and that people got that message, but it definitely hurt his rankings on this list, which should show you kids that team killing just doesn't pay.
Alright, I'll take all the weapons for myself. Hold on.
Summit 1G.
So have you ever gone, have you had party days?
Party days.
Yeah.
Like you mean like on stream or IRL?
Summit 1G is one of the older players on this list, being born in April of 1987, and he's a well-seasoned pro gamer, coming from the world of Counter-Strike, namely Counter-Strike Global Offensive. He's one of the better-known streamers on both YouTube and Twitch. Unlike other players though, it's hard to find a lot of his individual stats, although there are countless videos of him playing both by himself and with other famous players.
Hit him again, hit him again.
That's how you do that.
He also streams a wide variety of games outside of just Fortnite, which is good for variety, but doesn't help his world rankings. Although it does seem to help his status as one of the top streamers in the game, as he often has over 30,000 people watching his streams.
And that's how you handle that guy.
Avery. Avery's YouTube channel states that he's the #1 PC player of Fortnite Battle Royale, a claim bolstered by the fact that he's racked up over 1,300 wins, even if his average kill rate is lower than most people on this list at 5.75. Like others here, he's known for his ability with the shotgun, which typically means that he's doing a lot of the building, which could explain his lower than stellar average kill rate. With almost 1.3 million subscribers on YouTube and videos that get hundreds of thousands of views on Twitch, Avery is another up-and-comer that other people on this list should keep their eye on, especially since he's just starting to get acclimated to Twitch.
Get this kid banned. He shot you. What now? Well, I didn't kill you, so you know.
I'm dead inside, so yeah, you did.
All of those numbers will only increase as lists like these are made and more people play the still relatively new Fortnite Battle Royale. Considering the fact that Avery's Twitch claims almost 31,000 kills, it's scary to think that things could get even better from here.
Now I can be like, oh, I played with this guy. My Christmas list is complete.
Daequan.
Boy, stop. Give me that loot, son.
This list isn't solely based on stats like average kills per match or number of wins, or even the number of subscribers on platforms like Twitch or YouTube, but rather a composite of every sort of measurable that we have. That also pertains to things like the quality of videos that the player releases. That's where Daequan has differentiated himself, as his videos are mentioned by many people on ranking sites as the best of any player of Fortnite Battle Royale. Between the production value and the humor, people really seem to love what Daequan is doing. But beyond that, he's also a very well-rounded player. He's mentioned as a crafty builder, but beyond that, he can also be very, very deadly. One of his top videos shows a match in which he racked up an impressive 40 kills, something that only the best of the best can brag about. He's also known as one of the best shotgunners out there, meaning that he's really, really scary in up-close and personal settings. If you're looking for someone to follow as your first Fortnite live streamer, check out Daequan's videos, as they're entertaining and also have some great feats that are a perfect launching spot for anyone looking to get into the game.
Wiggle. I don't like them thick, I like them small and brittle.
Ginger Pop.
I was there and her mom was there and her name was Mrs. Dr. Lupo. It was adorable.
In today's day and age, there are countless sites dedicated to keeping track of the stats of players of basically every game, and Ginger Pop has some of the best overall stats of any player of Fortnite Battle Royale, despite still being relatively new to the game with just over 150 hours logged. In that time though, Ginger Pop has participated in 851 total matches, and has been on the winning side 238 times. Considering the fact that the team-based matches are still a relatively new thing, it makes sense that the vast majority of games played by Ginger are solo and duo. What's remarkable here is the average number of kills he has per match, which is just under 10, with over 5,700 kills total. As time goes on and Ginger is able to get more practice, he should be able to move up on this list too, as players like Ninja have over 44,000 kills in just under 6,000 total matches, but only 2 more kills per match on average at 11.04. So stay tuned, as Ginger Pop seems to be the future champion of lists like this, and all sorts of tournaments too. Myth.
Hiya, friend. It's all mine! The power!
Part of what makes Fortnite Battle Royale such a huge cultural phenomenon is the fact that it combines aspects of previous shooters with a building component that could best be compared to Minecraft.
I don't know, you want to just explore the beauty of the landscape?
I just want to go around and look and see if there's some things in chests or whatnot.
Where is he? Where is he?
Especially with last month's update that allowed people to create 5 teams of up to 20 people, having players that could focus on individual roles became even more important than it was previously.
I drop bombs, like, I curse. It's part of my stream.
And if there's any player on this list that's known for his building capability, it's Myth, who's been called the Bob the Builder of Fortnite players. If you check out any of his highlight videos, you'll see that most of his kills do come while he's building or jumping off of a building.
Myth just swears a lot, man, and I'm like a lot. Like he says the F word like 5 times a sentence.
Typically with a shotgun as well, which is something that a lot of players don't use as it's obviously a close quarter weapon, and most players tend to find weapons that have a good mix between distance and power.
What the
Some people say that Myth could be the best player there is in terms of actual skill, and that if he played seriously, he could be the top player on the PC leaderboards.
Oh, shit! Damn, little buddy.
Considering the amount of time he puts into Fortnite, I'm not sure how much more seriously he could take the game. But now that he knows that, all he has to do is keep on building it, something he is clearly very good at.
I then, after the fact, reached out and apologized to Myth.
Dakotaz.
Dude, what just happened? Oh. What? I wasn't even picking up.
Like most shooters, Fortnite Battle Royale gives players multiple options in terms of what weapons and strategies to use. So naming someone the best player in the world is pretty difficult, in that they may be great at one aspect of the game, but not so much at others. That having been said, Dakotaz might not be the winner in such a competition, but he would be a total pain in the butt to play against due to his very well-known sniping ability.
Sit down, boy.
Just look at his personal record video for most kills. The way that he's able to switch between his sniper and his revolver without missing a beat makes him especially hard to beat. That of course means that he's really good at no-scoping as well, which, considering the fact that he's got relatively high look sensitivity on his PC layout, means that he's put in the hours needed to turn Fortnite into an extension of his own reflexes. Response rates like this don't just speak to a preternatural ability, they speak to dedication. Ninja. Ninja's not only the best known player of Fortnite in the world right now, but maybe the best known gamer in the world right now.
Destiny still arrives.
Short of PewDiePie. It will tell you one thing even PewDiePie has never done. Streamed a game of Fortnite Battle Royale with Drake.
Got it, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get it, man.
Let's go, baby.
This game not only increased Ninja's profile, but the game's as well. As for Drake's, I don't know how much higher his profile could have gone. Anyways, after that stream, Ninja was propelled into the top spot in terms of subscribers on Twitch, and also in terms of the subscribers that he has on platforms like YouTube, where he spends most of his time playing Fortnite for up to 10 or 12 hours a day. If you look at the comments on his play, you'll find people basically anointing him as the best without any statistics, those that point to his massive following, and those who point out that he's really, really good at no-scoping. Then there's the guy who went into one of Ninja's games under the agreement that he'd do 10 push-ups for every kill that Ninja had in that particular game. After 220 push-ups, the guy learned two things. One, that he was in terrible shape. And two, that Ninja was the best Fortnite player there is. Be quick like a ninja and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you always find out when we get a new video up. And while you're here, take a look around at some of the other stuff we've got going.